disaster recovery, fault tolerance, and high availability. For many of developers out there, these three terminologies are one and the same. So I have seen developers, saying that if we have disaster recovery in place, that means that automatically it is highly available. And if something is highly available, then when we have a fault, we can just switch over, right? But they have very big difference between them. Definitely they complement each other, but when you look at the overall working, they are quite different, right? So let us first start with disaster recovery. Now, disaster recovery comes into picture, when there is calamity. So when there is some kind of a disaster, right? So you have some kind of a disaster. So disaster means like a flood or must be earthquake, right? And when some disaster happens, then one machine or two machines does not get affected, but the whole infrastructure, the whole region gets affected, right? So in that kind of scenario, we are not talking about just recovering the machines and the applications, right? So it's just not recovering about the machines, but it is also recovering the infrastructure, how we can replace the current infrastructure with the infrastructure somewhere else. It is also about people. It's also about logistics. So when we talk about disaster recovery, right, we are talking about something big. We are not talking about one or two machines, right? And in case of disaster recovery, means to have disaster recovery at place, the cost is tremendously high. So when it comes to cost, it is quite high, right? And second, even the recovery time is quite high. Recovery time means when we say that there is a flood at one place, and if we say that the whole infrastructure has to be recovered back into some other place, then it will take hours, it can take days, it can take weeks also, right? Definitely you will have some time for the recovery, but the point is that the recovery is not like in minutes, right? So here even the recovery time is quite high, right? So disaster is definitely something very, very different, right? Now let us say it is not a disaster. Let us say that it is a problem of just application getting crashed, or there is a power cord which has gone off, or a hard disk has conked off, right? So that means we are talking at the machine level, right? So let us say, so this was, when there is a disaster, but now let's say that there is no disaster, right? So when there is no disaster, let me ask a question that how much downtime your business can afford, right? So the question here comes now is that how much is the downtime you can afford, right? Means, is your business very, very sensitive and you will say that no, like absolutely no downtime? Or is it like saying that, okay, my business can afford downtime of, let us say 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or maximum to 1 hour, right? So from here again, there are two decisions which comes, that what is your affordable downtime, right? Now, if you say that you cannot afford any downtime, then your architecture will probably be like this, right? So basically you will have a machine out here. Now we are talking at a machine level. We are talking at a machine level, or we are talking at a VM level, right? In case of disaster, I was talking at a very big level, like infrastructure and so on. So when you are saying that you cannot afford a downtime, then your infrastructure architecture would look something like this. So you have one machine out here, and if this machine fails, you would say that just switch off to some other machine, right? Or just go back to another machine. So that means that you will have one more machine here which is running in parallel, or many machines which are running in parallel, but you would be having a kind of a synchronization mechanism between them, or you would be mirroring between them, right? So if you are saying that you do not want any downtime, then the same kind of machine with the same state has to run at some other location, or must be in the same data center, right? So if anything happens bad in this machine, so if anything goes wrong in this machine, what you can do is that you can immediately make a switch to the other machine, right? So when you say that you cannot afford any downtime, then you need to have such kind of an architecture wherein you would be replicating or synchronizing or mirroring all the applications, the state, the database, and there would be one parallel machine running, like your production, right? Now, if you are into this kind of scenario, that means this is fault tolerance. So this is disaster recovery, this is fault tolerance. Now, in case of fault tolerance, again, you have a cost which is I will not say very high, but definitely you have to keep one more machine running out here. You need to ensure that the replication happens, the mirroring happens. So that means there is a cost which is high out here. But the recovery time is very, very quick. So the recovery time, you can recover very quickly, right? So the recovery time is very, very less. But now, here we do have a cost of keeping up one machine running, right? So now let's look at the other thing where you say that, no, like I can afford a downtime of 5 to 10 minutes or maximum of an hour, right? So in this case, what I can do is I will not have one more machine running in parallel. So what I will do out here is I have this machine here or the VM which is running, right? And if something goes wrong out here in this machine, then what I will do is immediately I will try to start another machine. So there will be a machine which is there, right? Must be. But that machine is not running continuously. So I will actually go and start that machine. Now in case of cloud like Azure or Amazon, what happens is you can immediately start a VM, right? So the machine will be started, or I'll say the VM will be started out here. The application will start running and so on. And then you will then make a switch, from here to here, right? So in this case now, you are not making one more VM running in parallel. So your cost has come down. Right, your cost has come down because you don't have one machine running in parallel, right? But your recovery time is now like minutes to hours, right? Why? Because you have to start a VM, right? You have to go and run the application on it, must be restore some databases, right? And so on. So this is termed as high availability. Means the machines are available. We can bring them up at any time, but we don't have to keep running them. We don't have to keep synchronizing or mirroring them, right? So this is termed as high availability. So high availability, when you say that you can afford a downtime, right? Then yes, this is the way to go ahead. If you say no, you can't afford any downtime, then we are talking about fault tolerance. And disaster recovery is very different because here we are talking about a disaster like a flood or an earthquake, where you have to not only recover machines, but you have to recover infrastructure, you have to recover people, you have to recover your logistic, right? So remember that whenever you are using these two terminologies, think about two things. One is cost, another one is recovery time, right? So when you talk about disaster recovery, the cost is the highest because you have to replicate a lot of things. The recovery time is also very high here, right? Right. And then when you're talking about fault tolerance, again, the cost is not so high as the DR, but yes, it is there. And the recovery time is like ASAP, as soon as possible. Your business needs to run 24/7, right? And when you're talking about high availability here, the cost is less, right? But the recovery time is more. So all of these three things, should be used very cautiously depending on your business need, right? So it is not that we always just want 24/7 uptime. If you want 24/7 uptime, that means that your cost is going to rise. If you say you can afford some downtime, then you can switch to high availability.